but it's a great day for the Miami Valley. It's a great day for the state of Ohio. We continue our great history with aviation. Don't have to tell anybody in this room about that history, the Wright brothers and the astronauts from Ohio, 25 different astronauts, John Glenn, Neil Armstrong, and certainly Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, which plays such a major role. The brains of the Air Force play such a major role in our defense for so long. I think many of you know the history. Several years ago, the state of Ohio and the Air Force Research Lab teamed up to develop what is essentially an air traffic control system for unmanned aircraft systems. You can see the results of that collaborative work right here today. The RFV you see, that's SkyVision. SkyVision is a mobile, ground-based detect and avoid system that's operated by our ODOT staff at the Ohio UAS Center here in Clark County. The Federal Aviation Administration requires UAS operators to have an unobstructed view of their drone during flight. You need to be able to see where it's going. But what SkyVision does is it acts as the eyes for the UAS operator and detects and alerts them to any other aircraft that is nearby. This is really a great triumph in technology, a triumph so great that the FAA has given the Air Force Research Lab a special waiver to work with our Ohio UAS Center, which is part of ODOT's Drive Ohio initiative, to test this technology near the airport and to fly drones in unrestricted airspace outside the visual line of sight. FAA gave us this special authorization because they confirm that our SkyVision technology can safely, accurately, and effectively avoid any potential obstructions, including planes on its flight path. This really is, in fact, a big deal. Ohio is now just one of a few places in the country where UAS technology can truly be tested beyond the visual line of sight in unrestricted airspace. Some of the other speakers will certainly go into more of the technology, more into the details about this, but I want to stress something I think is very important. As our country steps more and more into the unmanned age of flight, this technology is on the forefront of the aviation frontier. SkyVision will open doors to drone use that can be truly revolutionary. Ohio could, in the future, and I anticipate will, develop and test drone technology to assist ordinary Ohioans in so many very vitally important uses that have to do with protecting us. Fire department command and control, disaster response, coordination, and even in search and rescue operations to improve our ability to find missing persons in time-critical situations. As someone who's been involved in law enforcement for many years, first as a county prosecutor, I can just imagine all the ways that, frankly, this technology can be used. Only beyond line of sight capability makes these operations workable. This also opens the door for commercial companies to work with Ohio, to work with Air Force Research Lab and the FAA to test their own drone-related technology using this SkyVision system. This means more jobs will be coming to the state of Ohio. I'm very grateful to those from the Air Force Research Lab, the FAA, who worked with us to make this happen, this day to come true. And of course, our staff at the UAS Center, Drive Ohio, and the Ohio Department of Transportation. I want to thank also Congressman Turner, Congressman Davison, for their role in this. As I said, this is really an effort that has taken a lot of people and taken a lot of their focus to bring us to this day. The Dayton Development Coalition has been involved from the beginning, as has Jobs Ohio. The Dayton Development Coalition is going to be aggressively marketing this technology to attract new companies to Ohio. Again, very excited about this major step in revolutionizing the transportation industry. Just as Ohio has led the nation into the air age of the 20th century, so Ohio does lead the nation into the aerospace age of the 21st century. Again, a very, very exciting day, I think, for all of us. Thank you very much.
One of the things that made me want to be here today is that I learned about this in this very building 10 years ago, approximately, talking to Scott Sullivan about the great and innovative things that could occur and how the Dayton area, Dayton-Springfield area, could really be put on the map with drone technologies if we could just get the ability to do the testing that we needed to and to make this a site where those things could happen. And today's announcement is a celebration of long, long effort by many, many people to put us in a position to be able to do this. I've tried to, in my mind, think of a way to characterize what this means, and it's kind of like teaching somebody to swim. You can't learn to swim unless you jump in the water. And this is really helping us expose or prepare testing, training, everything that needs to occur to elevate these technologies to both help people in their daily lives and to exploit them for economic advantage for the region and for our state. And so thanks to all who've been part of this. I want to praise the FAA waiver process and that outcome, thank them, which will allow ODOT's UAS Center, which is part of Drive Ohio, and the Air Force Research Laboratory to test this drone technology beyond the visual line of sight, which is in a 225-mile square parcel of unrestricted airspace out of this Springfield-Beckley Municipal Airport. The potential development that can come from this research now happening in Ohio is vast. This is how innovation can drive success in the Ohio economy. That we've talked about this through our Innovate Ohio initiative about how technologies develop, how they emerge, what you need to do to take advantage of them. And it's really this simple. The easier you make it for somebody to do something, the more likely it is to happen. And that's certainly true with research, innovation, and the economy. This will give private companies the opportunity to partner with Ohio and AFRL to test their own technologies. This is a greater economic opportunity for the region and the state of Ohio than we've ever had before in this space, and it's noteworthy that thanks to this waiver, we have a company, a Dayton company, Vertex, that has already committed to expanding to Springfield to test their UAS drone technology. That's just the beginning. I really believe that with the work that the Dayton Development Coalition and Jobs Ohio will be supported by the folks at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, the educational institutions in our community, that we will make the most of this, we will make the best of this, and that we will continue to lead in aviation for many years to come. Thank you very much.
Thank you all for being here, and thank you for all the work that many of you have done for years to make this day possible. It's great to be here to celebrate with you this nice win, and really, when you look, we've had the vision for a long time. We've had capital. The area has an abundance of talent and skilled workforce for this space. We've got the anchor in Wright-Patterson Air Force Base here. We've got Air Force Research Lab. And we have this great gym, the Springfield Air National Guard Base, right here. And so when we look at what were the ingredients, we needed to get it funded at the federal level, but we also needed to get the authorization. And so it was a real honor last year to introduce an amendment to the defense appropriations process that helped enable the collaboration between the FAA and the Department of Defense to work for waivers like this, where the Air Force can get DoD-centered research done, and the civilian community can provide all the agility that the civilian community has done. In fact, right here in this region, our legacy, of course, goes back to the origins of America's aerospace industry. And we look forward to seeing how that continues to develop. It's an honor to be here celebrating this at Select Tech. And Sully and Frank, thank you for the work to make this event possible. Thanks for Mike in the Springfield Chamber, and of course Jeff for the Dayton Development Coalition, Mo, and everyone else that's done it. Last but not least, you know, the Air Force folks that come through here are representative of people that have been a long line. I know how the change of command works, a little different in the Air Force and the Army, but thank you all for what you've done here and what you will do. It's an honor to be here, and I look forward to seeing what takes place, and look forward to working with you to help enable that with future legislation. Thanks, God bless.
Thank you. It's very good to be in Warren Davidson's district. Thank you for hosting us here in your congressional district. I want to begin by thanking the governor because even though his administration is new, he has set a tone that I believe is going to have unbelievable dividends for us as we look to the science and technology and the development throughout the state. The governor has set a tone that he will be looking for infrastructure dollars, education dollars, economic development dollars, and marrying those to the assets that we have here for our federal research and development, NASA Glenn, Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, this Guard Base. Thank you, Governor, for setting that tone, because as we look forward, I think it's going to be an incredible partnership to have the state in such a strong voice. So, Governor, thank you for what you're doing there. I'm a guy who frequently tells you that I benefit in Congress by being in a community that has a strategic plan. There is nothing more evident in that strategic plan than what we're celebrating here today. The reason why there were so many people to be identified and thanked is because we pulled together the strategic plan, the resources of the community to be able to accomplish what other communities will just dream of. When the country began to look at UASs and UAVs as the aviation and innovation for the future, we were able to look into our own toolkits as to what we had and what we could bring to the table. From industry, from our educational institutions. I see Steve Johnson Sinclair having one of the largest, I believe, UAS civilian systems in the state of Ohio. From our facilities, our bases, the Spring Guard, everyone has brought together unbelievable resources to be able to implement the strategic plan. And Jeff, as you were saying, this has been a long time coming. I recall in 2013, I was asked to put language in the National Defense Authorization Act for 2014 for the cooperation between the FAA and the Department of Defense. It was not just intuitive that this would happen. There were actual impediments for ways in which this integration and these opportunities could happen. But again, because we work together with a strategic plan, and together we're able to formulate a to-do list that I know is played out with each of you that are here. What's exciting about what we're celebrating today is not just what's been accomplished, but we all know this is just the start. What we're going to see from what has begun is that we'll be learning, and we'll be looking at what the innovation and ingenuity will be for the future. And for that, I know everyone in this room will continue to be working to advance that, and we will be a leader in the region in UAS and UAVs. Thank you.
Three radar feeds come into the system from the Dayton International, Columbus International, and London radars, and provide the information about what is flying out in the airspace. We then meld that with the information coming from the drone's ground control station and create the situational awareness necessary for the display. And with his communications gear available to him, he's providing vectors to the pilot in command, and that situational awareness allows him to operate safely. The protection zone moves with the drone aircraft, and now you see that because a aircraft has turned towards and is heading towards that dynamic protection zone, that the cue has changed from the white circle to the red circle. If that traffic were then to get close enough to penetrate that dynamic protection zone, it would actually start to flash, and one would hear oral cues beeping to again say we need to start taking action to avoid the aircraft. So it is a very large area of Southwest Ohio.
Maybe a small city. It's great for me because I need it.
Thank you.
Go with the heritage area.
Yeah.
This one will take you again. What you guys do, I'll come, I'll be on your panel, set up my airplanes, that's all I'm gonna do. This is less than 5 minutes.